risk of injury, including death. Riding responsibly and safely is always more fun. Use common sense and courtesy. Always observe applicable local laws and regulations. Respect the rights of and keep a safe distance from others. Always wear the appropriate protective clothing and apparel, including a helmet. Always consult your authorized Ski-Doo dealer when selecting a snowmobile for your particular need, and carefully read and pay special attention to your operator's guide, safety handbook, and to the safety labeling on your snowmobile. Every Ski-Doo snowmobile comes with a safety instructional video and an operator's guide as standard equipment. By being a member of these important snowmobiling associations, we recognize and support their efforts in sharing the responsibility and promoting the growth of our sport. And remember, if you're going to drink, please don't ride. In the USA, products are distributed by Bombardier Motor Corporation of America. In Canada, products are distributed by Bombardier Incorporated. Copyright 2003 Bombardier Incorporated, all rights reserved. Trademarks of Bombardier Incorporated or its subsidiaries. Bombardier Recreational Products. Visit our website at www.skidoo.com. A snowmobile is a machine like no other, carrying its rider to scenic trails and tranquil sunset peaks. Snowmobiles open the door to a world many never see, a world where passion runs free and winter rules. As residents of this wonderful winter world, all of us at Bombardier Recreational Products welcome it. We'd like to share our deep love for snowmobiling, a love that's matched only by our commitment to keeping the sport as enjoyable as possible for everyone. Whether you're an old snowmobiling pro or new to the sport, there is endless fun waiting for you in the saddle of a new Ski-Doo snowmobile. This informative and helpful video is part of our commitment to keeping snowmobiling fun. It covers a wealth of topics including riding techniques, riding etiquette, what to wear, what to bring with you, and troubleshooting problems that might pop up along the way. So, join us for a trip through everything you'll need to know to ride responsibly and stay safe. It's a trip you won't want to miss. Everybody who rides must know how to play it safe while snowmobiling. Let's start by showing you the proper protective clothing you'll need to wear. It can get pretty cold when you're out riding, and when you consider how low the wind chill can drop while you're moving on a sled, proper protective clothing becomes more than a convenience. It's a necessity. The ideal clothing for snowmobiling must allow you to move comfortably without restriction. It must keep you both warm and dry. It must also protect against cold air seeping into your clothes and warm air escaping. When you dress for snowmobiling, start from the inside and work toward the outer layers. By layering your clothing, you can keep warm in the coldest temperatures and still stay comfortable when the mercury rises by removing a layer of clothing and storing it aboard your sled. Start with some appropriate clothing, like this advanced microfleece. Next, add an in-between layer that could include a turtleneck, a sweater, or a fleece jacket. Now, you're ready for the outside layer, like this wind and water-resistant high pants and jacket. The insulating socks and water-resistant boots are recommended, as are face masks or balaclava to protect your face, head, and neck from exposure and extreme cold. Of course, proper protective clothing must always include a DOT and other approved standard helmet. Protect your eyes from low branches and flying debris by keeping the visor down or wearing goggles when you ride. Now, put on some warm, water-resistant gloves or mittens, and you're ready to go. Your authorized Ski-Doo dealer carries a complete line of Ski-Doo high-tech gear designed specifically for the needs of snowmobilers. They'll be happy to show you the proper clothing for the way you ride. There's one last thing to do before you head outside. It's a good idea to leave behind a note on your whereabouts. Jot down the trails you'll be riding and the time you expect to get back. And remember to include the names and phone numbers of the people you'll be riding with. We can't stress this enough. Always ride with someone. Besides, it's twice as fun. Okay, you dressed right and you've left a riding log. Now it's time to check your sled. Make sure you know your snowmobile thoroughly before you begin to ride. Pay particular attention to the warning labels on your sled and obey them. Read and understand your operator's guide and safety handbook to help familiarize yourself with your new snowmobile. Be sure you know the location and operation of all your sled's controls, including the brake, parking brake, emergency shut-off switch, and throttle. Always check to see if the throttle operates freely before starting your sled. Make sure there's adequate tension on the brake lever. Always attach the safety tether cord to your body when you're riding. Some snowmobiles are powered by a 2-cycle engine with separate tanks for gas and for oil. Make sure you have adequate levels of both. If not, you could run out or even damage your engine. Now, you're ready to ride. But before you head out, make some important final checks. Be sure that your toolkit is stowed on board. Always carry spare spark plugs and an extra belt. It's also an excellent idea for at least one person in your party to bring along a first aid kit, as well as food and provisions if you're traveling longer distances. Finally, it's recommended that you always bring a cell phone with you. It has also been found to be beneficial to snowmobilers when in distress or just for contacting someone. It is a good practice to always inspect the condition of your sled. Make sure all parts are in good working condition. Follow the regular maintenance intervals recommended in your operator's guide to help keep your snowmobile running right. Ski-Doo snowmobiles are engineered to be so easy to use that you may just want to hop on and go. But before you do, take the time to learn a few basic riding techniques. In most riding situations, you'll prefer the sitting position for its comfort and mobility. Place your feet on the footrest, both hands on the handlebars, take a comfortable sitting position, and away you go. But if you're riding over rough, ungroomed areas, you can absorb the bumps easier by switching to a knee-flexed position or more upright position. Always shift your body weight in the direction you're turning to keep your sled well balanced. The same riding techniques apply if you ride with a passenger, or as snowmobilers like to call it, two-up. Both the driver and passenger should stay seated when riding two-up. The passenger should match the driver's body movements in turns or over varying terrain to help the sled stay balanced. Remember to be even more careful when riding with a passenger. Slow down, avoid the harder bumps and deeper snow, and always make sure your passenger is wearing the same protective equipment you are. Practice until you master all these basic riding skills. The more you learn to become part of your new sled, the easier riding and to control your sled will be. But remember, know your limitations. Do not attempt any maneuvers performed by experienced or advanced skill riders. Always play it safe. Be sure to register your snowmobile in your state or province and get a permit before riding in other areas if required. To snowmobile safely, you must know the law. Different states and provinces have different laws, so always make sure you're familiar with local regulations before you ride. Now you're ready to enjoy the beauty of nature, as well as the camaraderie of snowmobiling with family and friends over the almost 200,000 miles of groomed trails in North America. While traveling these trails, it benefits everybody to remember a few simple rules of etiquette. Never ride alone. Always keep a safe distance between sleds. Keep your place in line. Don't try to pass while on the trail. If you and your group decide to stop, pull off the trail to the right side in a highly visible area where other riders can see you well in advance and get by easily. Always stay to the right of the trail, allowing sleds coming from the opposite direction plenty of room to pass. Be particularly careful in staying to the right around corners, as riders coming from the opposite direction may not see you until you're very near. And please ride smart. Snowmobiles are no place for irresponsible riding. Many trails have posted speed limits that must be obeyed. Never ride on railroad tracks, and know the local laws before riding on roads or in roadside ditches. Never ride after consuming drugs or alcohol, or if you feel tired or ill. While riding, basic arm signals provide an effective way to alert others when turning, slowing down, or stopping. To stop, raise your left arm straight up. To turn left, extend your left arm straight out. For a right turn, place your left arm out and bend it to a 90-degree angle upward. Well, this arm signal indicates the riders behind you that sleds are approaching and your group should bear to the right of the trail. Make sure you give the proper signal well in advance to give fellow riders time to react. In addition to hand signals, almost all snowmobile trails are clearly marked with signs that you should know. Some are identical to road signs. Other signs tell you whether snowmobiling is permitted in the area or not. Some signs alert you to potential hazards, while directional markers help you follow the proper trail. There are signs to direct you toward food, lodging, bathrooms, and other conveniences. And there are even signs to make you think. Make sure you check with the local DNR, Department of Natural Resources, or DOT, Department of Transportation Office, or Snowmobile Club for the correct signage in their area. One sign that's particularly important to respect is this one. Snowmobiling is both an enjoyable and safe sport when you practice proper caution. And there is no place where caution is more important than when riding on or near bodies of water. This simple rule must be obeyed. Never ride onto a frozen lake or river until you are positive the ice is thick enough to be safe. If you're not familiar with ice conditions, check with local law enforcement or conservation officials before going ahead. If there's any doubt, stay off the ice. Remember, just because there are tracks on the ice doesn't make it safe. Don't endanger yourself and fellow riders by not taking the proper precautions. Well, there's not a sign that tells you the do's and don'ts of night riding. Keep in mind some important guidelines. You can't see as far, so you should only travel at speeds that give you time to see and to react to what's ahead. Don't ride over unfamiliar terrain at night, and always bring along a flashlight. As snowmobile trails oftentimes will cross roadways, it is important for riders to know the proper crossing procedures. When approaching a roadway, signal to others you are stopping and approach the intersection slowly, coming to a complete stop back from the road's edge. Once stopped, look in both directions to ensure no vehicle is approaching. If need be, assume a standing position to look both ways. When you are certain the roadway is clear, proceed straight across the intersection without hesitation. Each rider needs to come to a complete stop, look both ways, and then proceed when the roadway is clear of oncoming traffic. When riding in mountain country, you should be aware of the risk of avalanches. Avalanches vary in size and shapes, and generally occur in steep terrain and on unstable snow. New snow, animals, people, wind, and snowmobiles can all trigger an avalanche. Avoid high marking or traversing steep terrain when avalanche conditions are possible. When in unstable snow conditions, travel should be restricted to lower angle slopes. Wind-formed cornices should be avoided. Staying off unstable conditions is the key to safe mountain riding. If you're not sure of the conditions, stay away. You should always carry snow shovels, probes, and avalanche detector equipment while riding in the mountains. Be sure that you know how to use this equipment. Remember, riding responsibly and safely is more fun. Use common sense and courtesy, and it's more fun for everyone to ride right. Next up, more helpful details about your new Ski-Doo snowmobile. Here are some troubleshooting procedures that are easy to perform. Remember that for safety's sake, all of these procedures should be conducted off the trail, with the parking brake on. And you'll find everything you'll need to perform these procedures in your sled's toolkit. Everyone should know how to change a spark plug, and you should always bring along extra spark plugs when you ride. Spark plugs should be replaced if your engine is misfiring, as well as at regular maintenance intervals. To replace a spark plug, simply take this tool, remove the spark plug wire, secure the spark plug wrench, and turn in a counterclockwise direction to loosen until the spark plug is removed. Now, take a new spark plug, thread it into the cylinder head by hand, then tighten the plug by turning the wrench in a clockwise direction until the plug is secure but not too tight. And replace the spark plug wire, making sure you connect the correct wire for each cylinder. Changing the drive belt is another simple procedure, and again, you should always bring along a replacement belt when you ride. The smart thing to do is to regularly check your belt for wear. If you see signs of fatigue like this or this, it's time to change your belt. Changing your belt is easy, especially if you use this T-shaped wrench found in the toolkit. Locate this nut on the driven pulley. Insert the wrench and turn in a clockwise direction to loosen spring tension. This will allow you to easily remove the old belt and install a new one. Be sure that your belt is running in the correct direction to maximize performance and belt life. You'll know your belt is properly installed if you can read Bombardier right side up when the belt is in position. All that's left to complete the procedure is to turn the wrench back in a counterclockwise direction to regain spring tension. Secure the belt guard, and you're ready to go. Many of you have also asked about the proper procedure for adjusting the TRA clutch. Well, TRA is one of the easiest clutches in the industry to adjust the top operating RPM. Any adjustment can seriously affect engine performance. We recommend that you consult the experts in the service department of your authorized Ski-Doo dealer. Here's a final troubleshooting tip that can come in handy in a pinch. If your recoil starter should break, you can still start your sled by this starter rope and plastic clip from your toolkit. Open your clutch guard, thread the rope through the plastic clip, tie a knot to secure the rope, position the clip on the clutch like this, wind the rope around the clutch in a counterclockwise direction until almost all the slack is used. Now, give it a pull, using the same procedure you'd normally use to start your sled. This procedure cannot be performed on a snowmobile equipped with a Rotax 4Tech 4-stroke engine. Well, we've reached the end of this trail. Hopefully only the first of many you'll come to enjoy. We include this Ski-Doo Ride Right video with every new Ski-Doo snowmobile because we really believe your enjoyment of your new sled begins with smart, safe riding. So put all of this new knowledge of yours to practice and hit the trails. We'll see you on the snow. Some scenes depicted in this video include professional riders and racers executing maneuvers or performances under ideal and/or controlled conditions. Please do not attempt any of these if they are beyond your level of riding ability as well as your understanding and respect for the performance of your snowmobile. Snowmobiling, like any other sport, is not without risk of injury, including death. Riding responsibly and safely is always more fun. Use common sense and courtesy. Always observe applicable local laws and regulations. Respect the rights of and keep a safe distance from others. Always wear the appropriate protective clothing and apparel, including a helmet. Always consult your authorized Ski-Doo dealer when selecting a snowmobile for your particular need, and carefully read and pay special attention to your operator's guide, safety handbook, and to the safety labeling on your snowmobile. Every Ski-Doo snowmobile comes with a safety instructional video and an operator's guide as standard equipment. By being a member of these important snowmobiling associations, we recognize and support their efforts in sharing the responsibility in promoting the growth of our sport. And remember, if you're going to drink, please don't ride. In the USA, products are distributed by Bombardier Motor Corporation of America. In Canada, products are distributed by Bombardier Incorporated. Copyright 2003 Bombardier Incorporated. All rights reserved. Trademarks of Bombardier Incorporated or its subsidiaries. Bombardier Recreational Products. Visit our website at www.skidoo.com.